Grug can spend 2 hours scrolling TalkTick without feeling the time pass. Grug can play video games and only leave when he's starving or needs the bathroom. Even right now, while Grug is watching this video, a part of his brain is calculating. Should he keep paying attention or switch to something easier? That calculation happens thousands of times a day, and it's silently destroying Grug's ability to do anything meaningful. But lucky for Grug, the same neural mechanism that makes him avoid hard work can be reversed to make him crave it. What if Grug could run 10 kilometers and feel better than scrolling TalkTick? The answer lies in how Grug's primal brain works. When Grug wants to do something, his brain constantly asks one question. What's the best return on energy investment? High effort, uncertain reward? The brain hits the brakes. Low effort, guaranteed pleasure? The green light flips on. This mechanism helped Grug survive in prehistoric times, when energy was synonymous with life. So how can we hijack this to make Grug enjoy the hard things? Part 1. Dopamine. The answer begins with a neurotransmitter called dopamine. But dopamine doesn't work the way most people think. It doesn't create pleasure, it creates craving. Dopamine spikes when Grug anticipates a reward, not when he receives it. That's why scrolling is so addictive. Part 2. The dopamine impact. To understand how dopamine hits Grug's brain, look at this experiment. Scientists gave a rat a lever. Every time the rat pressed it, dopamine was released into its reward system. The result? The rat went insane. It pressed the lever for hours, forgetting to eat, forgetting to sleep. Some even pressed it until they collapsed. Then, scientists tried the opposite. They blocked dopamine in the rat's brains. Suddenly, those rats became so lazy they wouldn't even stand up to drink water. They weren't depressed. If food was placed directly in their mouths, they chewed happily. But they'd zero motivation to move and get it. Part 3. Down-regulation. Here is the scary part. Grug's primal brain works exactly like the rat's. When Grug gets too much easy dopamine, his brain adapts. Like the rat, Grug becomes unable to do things that require more effort but release less dopamine. Now, Grug needs even more stimulation to feel the same excitement. That's why cavemen who spend hours on social media often feel unmotivated. Their brains have been trained to expect constant, easy rewards. Anything requiring sustained focus feels like punishment by comparison. The effort-to-reward ratio is all wrong. Grug's brain has been rewired to crave instant gratification, and real achievement cannot compete with that. Part 4. Dopamine Detox. The beautiful thing about neuroplasticity is that what can be broken can also be fixed. Grug's brain is constantly restructuring itself based on what Grug does. Every choice Grug makes either strengthens the neural pathways for discipline or the pathways for distraction. If Grug reads enough, those reading neural pathways will get strong, and Grug will see reading as normal. But on the flip side, if Grug scrolls his phone for too long, he'll have to keep doing it every single day. The question isn't if Grug's brain is changing. It's which direction is he pushing it? So, what is dopamine detox? Grug isn't actually quitting dopamine, he's removing the sources of easy, excessive stimulation. Imagine Grug's dopamine system is a dimmer switch that has been turned to the maximum for so long that normal light looks like darkness. Detox is turning that switch down so Grug's brain can recalibrate what normal feels like. When Grug removes excessive pleasure, magic happens. Dopamine receptors become more sensitive. Suddenly, activities that seemed boring start to become attractive. Grug doesn't become someone else, he returns to his primal state. To start, Grug identifies his high dopamine activities. Not the things he likes most, but the things that require the least effort for maximum stimulation. For most modern humans, it's their phone. Grug will stay away from these for at least 3 days. He's creating an artificial scarcity of easy dopamine, forcing the brain to seek satisfaction in harder tasks. But Grug can't just remove things, he has to replace them. Read a paper book instead of chasing drama. Cook a meal instead of ordering out. Run without headphones. Initially, these activities were incredibly boring and difficult to complete. Grug felt even more useless than he did as a child, when he could observe ants all day without a phone. This is because Grug's brain had become accustomed to high levels of dopamine. The amazing thing was that after a week of persistence, his brain gradually became interested in what seemed like boring things. Grug rediscovered his long-lost abilities. Part 5. Pleasure and satisfaction. There is a critical difference between pleasure and satisfaction. Pleasure is instant and fleeting. It comes from external stimulation with zero effort. Satisfaction is slow and lasting. It comes from internal achievement and requires struggle. Modern life is full of pleasure but leaves us empty of satisfaction. A dopamine detox shifts Grug's focus from seeking pleasure to building satisfaction. The more Grug delays pleasure, the easier it is to achieve satisfaction. Statistics show that prehistoric people who were good at delaying gratification had a higher chance of capturing large mammoths and were more successful and wealthy. Part 6. Environment. After the detox, environment design is key. If the phone is next to the bed, Grug checks it the moment he wakes up. If fruit is on the table, Grug eats it instead of junk food. Grug designs his surroundings so high dopamine activities require more effort, while healthy ones are easy to start. Grug leaves his phone in another room, deletes social media, and only uses them if it takes 5 minutes to re-download. Environment is also about the tribe. If every caveman around Grug is scrolling, Grug will follow. If Grug surrounds himself with 4 master hunters, Grug will be the 5th. Part 7. Freedom. Right now, if we are honest, Grug doesn't really control anything. The phone controls when Grug feels bored. Algorithms control Grug's thoughts. Apps control Grug's time. That isn't freedom. That is a hijacking. If you watched this far, it's a good sign. Don't immediately switch to another video. Take 10 seconds to think. Are you craving the next hit of stimulation? Or can you give up the novelty and do something boring but useful? Like rewatching this video at normal speed without scrolling the comments while the video is playing. Grug bets it'll be tough, because your brain's looking for a new, random reward. But remember, if everything you do's easy, then where's your value? So which one is actually harder? Spending your life chasing dopamine hits that never satisfy you, or building a life where the effort itself is the reward? Like this video. Subscribe to follow Grug.